Well, the rally's over. The booth has been packed up. The banners have been rolled up. The seminar rooms are empty. And if I'm being honest, I'm tired. Not bad tired, not discouraged tired, just the kind of tired that comes from a full week of talking to people, answering questions, and solving problems, and trying to help folks avoid some of the same mistakes that all of us have made somewhere along this RV journey. And tomorrow morning, Bertie Bea, Rosie, and I will start pointed east, rolling towards our next stop. As I sit here this evening, I started thinking about everything this week reminded me of. And the first thing is this: education still matters more than selling. Now, don't get me wrong, products matter. I talked about soft starts, TPMS systems, water filtration, and GPS units this week. Every one of those products can make your RV life better and, in some cases, safer. But people didn't come to the seminars because they wanted to hear a sales pitch. They came because they wanted to learn. They wanted to understand. They wanted someone to explain not just what a product does, but why it matters and when it matters. I think that's one of the reasons I still enjoy doing these seminars. At my core, I'm still an educator. I just want people educated and safe. If someone buys something because they understand it and believe it will help them, great. But if they walk out of the room a little smarter, a little more confident, that's a win too. The second thing this week reminded me of is that stories connect better than specs. I can stand in front of a room and tell you a tire pressure monitoring system measures pressure and temperature. Or I can tell you about a friend who had a blowout that caused thousands of dollars of damage. I can tell you about sitting in Wyoming winds that made me decide not to move the coach. I can tell you about the times I've made mistakes, gotten humbled, and learned lessons the expensive and hard way. People remember stories because stories feel real. They can picture themselves in that situation. They can see the mistake. They can see the solution. And maybe, just maybe, they'll remember that story someday when they're standing in a campground, wondering what decision to make. I've learned over these last 6 years that facts inform us, but stories stay with us. The third thing this week reinforced is that RVers want practical help, not fear or fluff. I don't like fear-based presentations. I don't like telling people the sky is falling, and I don't like fluff either. People have enough noise in their lives. All they want is practical information. What should I do? What should I check? How do I avoid making that mistake? How do I make this lifestyle easier, safer, and more enjoyable? That's the kind of information I try to share in the seminars, on this podcast, in the books, and in the videos. Because education shouldn't leave you scared. Education should leave you prepared. And finally, this week reminded me that the rolling smooth mindset works everywhere. It works when you're sitting on the side of the road. It works when the wind is howling. It works when you're making travel plans. And it even works when you're tired, especially when you're tired. Slow down, evaluate, determine a course that aligns with your values, then resolve or mitigate the issue. I use that mindset this week. I use it on travel days. I use it when I'm making business decisions. And frankly, I use it when I'm sitting in this recliner wondering if I have enough energy left to record a podcast. The older I get, the more I realize that very few decisions need to be made in a panic. Most decisions get better when we slow down and think them through. So tomorrow morning, I'll pull the slides in, hook up Rosie, and point Bertie Bea towards that next stop. There'll be another campground, another sunrise, another story, and another opportunity to help somebody somewhere down the road. Because even though the Newmar Rally is over, the mission hasn't changed. I still just want people educated and safe. And as long as I can do that, I'll keep rolling smooth. Until next time, my friends, safe travels, and we'll see you down the road.
With Bertie Bea and Rosie, headed to the next sunrise.
Thank you for riding along with me today for this episode of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with a fellow traveler so more folks can find us out here on the road. You can find more stories, photos, and adventures over at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com. If you're looking for gear that helps keep your rig running right, check out TechnoRV through my affiliate link at TechnoRV.com. They really do help you adventure more and worry less. And if you enjoy cowboy storytelling and rodeo history, my good friend Doug Simcox hosts a great podcast called Beyond the Chutes, which is well worth a listen at beyondthechutes.show. If you'd like to dive deeper into the mindset behind this lifestyle, you can check out the Rolling Smooth RV book series at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com/rolling smooth. Until next time, keep your rig rolling smooth, keep your coffee hot, and remember, sometimes the best repair isn't just the one that fixes your RV. It's the one that quiets your mind. Safe travels, my friends. And remember, not all who wander are lost.